going. All right, hello everybody. This is Dan Hunt of the JSKA Rochester Virtual Dojo. Today is Tuesday, January 18th. And intent today is to work on some drills for hip rotation and kind of get that tied into our basics and also our kata. And then we'll finish up again today with Wankan Kata, and then we'll get to a new kata on Thursday. All right. So let's get started. All right. All right, feet together and about. And yo. Okay, so let's just start with some in-place hip rotation. Okay, so what we're going to do is push the left hip forward, pull the right hip back. Okay, we're still trying to stay centered, so I don't want to go like this and like this, or even like this or like this. So I want to stay centered, so whatever I move this hip forward, this one comes backwards, and I'm pivoting about this center piece between my two center of my hips this way. All right. So, and as I turn, notice my hand will go with it. Okay. Okay. 1, come back. 2, come back. 3, come back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So now we're going to go left, right together, 1 count, 2 hip rotations, and then we'll go back to right, left, 2 hip rotations. Ready? It's knee, thumb, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. All right, good. Now from here, let's take a front stance, left leg forward. Okay. Now let's go to Shomen, which is forward, hip. Open it up to Hanmi, which is half body turn, body or belt knot, belly button off to the 45. So this is that same drill we did Thursday and Saturday, pushing against the floor with our stance and then pushing forward back to Shomen. Okay. Do not turn this so far that the outside blade edge comes off the ground. You want to have it still pressure outward and also to the outside edges of the feet. Okay, so Shomen center, Hanmi, Shomen, Hanmi. Load up into the back leg, Shomen, Hanmi, Shomen, Hanmi. Okay, now let's close and open, all one motion. Itch, knee, thumb, chi, go, hook, stitch, hach, ku, ju. So you should feel that the closing of the hip comes from the back foot pressing forward. Okay, front hip comes back just like the back hip goes forward. Okay, so let's go to closed position, Shomen. We're going to open, close, coming back. Itch, knee, thumb, chi, go, rook, stitch, hach, ku, ju. All right, switch legs. And we'll add some techniques to this in a little bit. Okay, so let's get to Shomen. Now this side here is going to be a little tough for me with my hip, but I'm going to do my best here. Okay, Hanmi, Shomen, Hanmi, Shomen, itch, knee, hump, chi, Go. Up. Hitch. Hutch. Two. Two. All right. So now open, close. All one motion. Hitch. Knee. Thumb. Chi. Go. Up. Hitch. Hutch. Two. Two. Open. Now close, open. Notice my hands are, I move this elbow with my body the same amount so that my hands have a stagger to them when my hips are open. Okay, so open, close and open, one count. Hitch, knee, thumb, chi, go. Up, hitch, hutch, two, two. All right, good. Let's go back to left leg. Take a look, see what you guys got going here. All right. So still no official techniques yet, just adjusting the hands, keeping the elbows nice and tight. Okay, hips are open right now, and we'll go close, open. One count. Hitch, knee, thumb, chi, go. Hook, hitch, hutch, coo. All right, Dirk, you got to take your right hip and push it more forward. When, yeah, there you go. Yep. Coo, two. All right, good. Now close hip. Okay, open and close. Okay, Marty, a little wide for you, I think. Same with you, Eric, just a little wide. Good. All right, here we go. So open and then close again. Hitch, knee. All right, so Marty, you're doing a really nice fast hip, but your elbow on your right side is not moving with the hip. It's staying just neutral. Okay, so bring the elbow back, connected to the side of your body, open it, close it, open it, close it, so the hand moves with it, okay? Itch. That's it. Don't let that backside come up though. Nip. Thumb. Chi. Keep that pressure out on the outside edges. Go. Hook. Chi. Hutch. Coo. Two. Alright, Elaine, that front knee is kind of collapsing a little bit as you go. So you got to learn to press the hip or the inner thighs apart from each other, keeping that front knee more straight, okay? Or more forward, I should say. All right, so let's add some techniques to this now. Okay, so everybody closed in a reverse punch position. Leave your left leg forward. All right, so we're just going to open rising block, and then we'll close reverse punch 2 counts. Hitch, knee. All right, so reverse punch is number 2, block is number 1. Hitch, knee, hitch. Andy, just one at a time. Knee. Reverse punch, Andy. Good. Couple more. Hitch. Knee. Hitch. Knee. All right, now combine these two into one movement. Create the pressure into the hip when you do this. Okay. Create the pressure into the back leg, into the hip joint. Boom, boom. So this pressure backwards from the rotation creates the equal and opposite reaction that allows you to come back forward again. So, so open, close, open, close. So this pressure here pushes back that way when you're making the close. Okay, all right, let's go. So 1 count, 2 techniques. Ich, knee, some, she. Go. All right, so how many of you feel like you're in this slow pace? 1, 2, 3, 4 versus bum bum, quicker, quicker, bum bum. So think quicker combination, seeing if you can reduce the amount of time you spend on the backside, because the blocking part of it only needs to be very minute, because you want to get to the punch side so you're not being attacked anymore, right? So let's try and quicken your pace of open close, and let's see if we can get that to be a little quicker, but you still want to make a slight tension point on the top of the rising block. All right, here we go. Let's try and quicken your pace. Ich, knee, much better. Thumb, she, go. All right, I knew you guys could be faster. Excellent. All right, let's switch sides. Okay, so let's do down block reverse punch on this side. 1 count for each. 1 for down block, 1 for reverse punch. 2 counts for the combination. Start with a reverse punch. Okay, remember too, we want to bring our elbows. You want to bring your blocking elbow across your body slightly, or at least to center, so that the elbow leads for the down block. All right, here we go. Ich, knee, and you go back to reverse punch. There you go, blocking. Ich, knee, ich. Oh, Elliot, bring that arm all the way up here. So wrist goes all at least to your ear level, or to the edge of your ear. Thump. Ich. Chi. Ich. Go. All right, combination, 1 count, both techniques. Ich. Okay, still add just a little bit of tension, focus point on the down block. You want to impact whatever it is that's coming at you with that down block, but you don't want to hold it there forever. Knee. Some. All right, so Mary, little fine point. You've got a lot of extra motion. Okay, so you're in this reverse punch here. This down block is coming up this way and around, instead of, see how my elbow stays low and just comes to here. Okay, so just bring this elbow to here. Don't let this elbow come up and around and then down again, okay? All right, let's go again. Remember the tempo. Try and do nice and quick. Ich. That's a little bit better. Still a little lower with your elbow. Knee. Thumb. She. Go. Good. Switch legs. All right. Gyatsuki. Let's do sotoke with Gyatsuki. 1 count sotoke, 2 count reverse punch. Start with a reverse punch. Ich. Knee. Load up on that back leg. Ich. Knee. Ich. Some. Sheet. Sheet. Go. Go. All right, one count, both of them. Ich. Ni. Ba-bum. Some. She. Go. Hook. Sichi. Hutch. Press into that back leg. Ku. Jiu. All right, switch legs. Uchuke. Uchuki, one count. Gyakuzuki, two counts. Ready. Ich. Ni. Ich. Ni. Ich. Some. Ich. She. Make sure that elbow comes across the body. Ich. Go. All right, one count, both techniques. Ready. Ich. Ni. Thump. Bum bum. She. Go. Hook. Sichi. Hutch. Ku. Jiu. All right, good. Shuto block. Other leg. Back stance, kokusudachi. All right, so each time we're going to have to move our front foot over, and we're going to have to pivot on the heel to go forward, then pivot on the heel to go backwards. Okay, so when you change to your back stance, pivot on the heel both directions so that you end up in the same spot. All right, I like that your legs are getting a little taxed. Good, that means you're working hard. All right, so Tony, move over just a little bit away from the couch because you're going to go toward the couch with this move of your front foot. All right, here we go. So Gyaku Nukite, everybody start there in a Zenkutsudachi. Andy, Gyaku Nukite, there you go. Okay, not here like this, just straight out. Pull your hikite all the way to your side. All right, now Shuto, ich, open the hip. No, don't step forward, Andy, just in place. So move your leg over to be back stance. Now move it over again to be front stance, 2. Okay, so you're moving front leg only, pivoting on the back foot. Ich. Knee. Ich. Thumb. Use your hip to open. Ich. Chi. Go. Rock. All right, one count, both of them. Ich. Knee. So be careful. This one here can lend itself to be this kind of floaty movement when you get to the back stance. So try and load it up into the back foot and then drive it forward again into the front foot as you make the turn. Ich. Thumb. She. Go. All right, good. Switch legs. All right, so everybody put yourself in a front stance, tate shuto, and a fudodachi. Okay. So fudodachi, a little bit wider with your front arm, tate shuto. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to pivot that back knee forward with your back foot forward, kind of like you just did with your kokusudachi, and do a reverse punch. So tate shuto with your front arm and then reverse punch with your back arm. So let's start with a reverse punch and Zenkutsudachi. Okay, so now we're going to open the hip, go to Fudodachi, and then close the hip with the reverse punch. Ich, ni, ich, ni, ich, ni, ich. All right, so Tony, your back knee looks like it's in a kokusodachi position. Try and have it more like 45-degree forward rather than full 90. Ich, knee. All right, so reverse punch, everybody. Ich. All right, so let's go to tate shuto and gyaksuki all one count. Ready? Ich, knee, thump, shi, go. All right, good. Any questions on hip rotation? And one of those kind of, you got to feel it, and you got to do it more often. Because one thing I've noticed for beginners, this movement here turns into this. They think this is turning the hips, and it's not. Everything stays here. Okay, this one moves forward as much as this one moves backwards, and vice versa, forward. So all this center, nothing really changes other than the angle or the direction that your belly button is pointing. All right, so let's everybody put yourself in a left leg forward again. Okay, so now I want to take this hip rotation into a step. Okay, I want to take this hip and bring it backwards and push off of this leg so that I can step backwards. It's same thing applies to going forward. I want to take this hip, turn it forward as I push off of this leg and into this leg. 2. It's knee. Okay, so think of it as I'm adding another piece of energy to move me forward or backwards. Okay, if I just walk, okay, it's one part of the energy being able, and then the other part is if I just bring one leg between the other, that's the inner thighs only. If I get back into this hip and press with this leg, that's another part. And then I got this turn and a push off the front side, which adds some more to it. Okay, ready? Ich, knee, thump, shi, go. Hook, sich, hach, ku, ju. All right, so let's go step backwards. I want to jab with our right hand as you step backwards. Okay, it's okay to have a little bit of open shoulder here. Just do not make it so far open that I lose all this connection into my pectoral muscle. I still want to have that. Okay, so I'm going to step backwards, jabbing with the right. It's now stepping forward, oitsuki, left, knee. It's knee. It's knee. It's knee. Thump. Shi. All right, now let's go backwards and forwards one count. Make sure you use that hip to pull back and then the hip to push forward. It's knee. Thump. Shi. Go. All right, good. Switch legs. All right, I want to see you guys do this. Okay, so stepping backwards, just opening, using the hip open to step backwards. No punches yet.
Sensei?
Yes.
On that, when you're drawing back, are you going back and forwards into an open hip on both
Yes, correct.
sides?
Yes. Yes.
So when you step forward into an oizuki, you're going to still open your hip up on that,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. In this particular exercise, yes.
Plus, okay, thank you.
Okay. So I'm trying to get folks to use their hips when they step by over exaggerating. Okay. All right, here we go. Stepping backwards, open the hip. Hitch. Knee forward. Hitch. Knee. All right, so this is what I thought I'd see, unfortunately. So what I'd like to see, or what I did see, is your foot's moving first. Your foot's moving first, and then you open the hip. I want to see you take this and drag this foot. See, you see my hip gets back first, right? So that means this part here goes backwards first, and then it kind of whips the leg backwards. Doesn't necessarily mean that my foot doesn't push first. It does, okay? But when it pushes this hip, and the foot kind of stays there because it's being whipped backwards by my hip. If I just think walk, then it opens. That's not what I'm looking for, okay? So try and start the hip and then whip the leg backwards with the hip. All right, here we go. Itch. Knee. Same thing with stepping forward. That foot should trail the hip. Itch. Knee. Itch. Knee. All right, Andy's still kind of leg centric instead of hip centric. I want you to move the hip more. I want you this time on what I want you to try and do, just to make it something that is different. I want you to drag your foot and send your hip backwards as you're dragging your foot, okay? And then as you go forward, I want your foot in the backside to kind of drag too as you go forward. So drag it a little bit. All right, here we go. Itch. Yes, that's better. Now, the same thing going forward. Knee. So the hip should get there. Everybody should look like this. And while the foot, see how my foot is back there as I'm going forward here. My foot's still back here as I'm trying to get forward. Okay? Itch. Knee. Itch. Knee. All right, so now let's add the punches. Okay, that's it, Mark. I like it. Here we go. Jab, stepping backwards. Itch. A little bit more exaggerated, Marty, if you can. Knee. It's still, your leg and your hip are moving together. I want the hip to move first. Itch. That's it, Dirk. Keep your posture tall, though. Itch. Itch. That's it, Mary. I like that. Itch. 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 All right, so let's go backwards and forwards. Now that means your hips got to lead both directions so you can move both hips forward and or backwards and forwards. Ready, here we go. Itch. Knee. Lead the hip, lead the hip. Thumb. See. That's it, Elaine. I like it. Go. All right, good, Yummy. All right, so I think that's all we're gonna do today on hip rotation. Does anybody have any comments or observations, Elaine?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about where does the squeeze come in with that? I feel like I lost my squeeze in as I was pushing my hips.
So which squeeze. The squeeze that moves between
The
the
squeeze.
stance, or the one at the very, or the pressure out at the ends?
The between the during the stance.
All right, so that squeeze happens, you know how your leg is kind of hanging and your hip's
Yeah.
pulling it back? During that part where your foot is forward of your hip, that squeeze is what helps bring that foot backwards. Okay, not only the hip pulling it backwards, but the squeeze also helps you bring it back. So when I'm stepping backwards here, okay, this leg is still here. And then as this hip gets to here, I start the squeeze and I throw the hip back even more, and this leg comes with. So squeeze. Okay, so you can kind of see when this thing comes this way, like that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so it happens after you've pushed. The squeeze and the hip going backwards are kind of coincident. This way. Okay, but you have to let go of the squeeze, because at some point in the middle of the squeeze, now that squeeze is keeping you from going backwards or going forward. So you got to let it go to allow you to move through the middle of it.
So
Okay?
Sensei, on the
Yes.
on the movement forward, we're gonna roll onto that knee first. So it's gonna be roll, hip, squeeze, and then push, right?
Yeah, so the way the progression of it is back foot pushing into this front knee.
Right.
Okay, and then that hip goes the same time. Then I squeeze, and then I drive with this leg. This way.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the pressure forward is this hip going in, and it kind of should, kind of like if I'm going to throw my elbow, like with a baseball, elbow leads, right? Elbow leads, same thing here. Hip leads to move quicker and move forward. All right, and then it also kind of ties in too with your big 270-degree turns. Take this hip in with kata. Okay, so the hip leads. If I just try and step, all I'm doing is unweighting and I'm turning, but I'm turning kind of just without any dynamics of my hips doing any of the work.
Yes.
Okay.
And then at the very end, when you're landing, we're pushing out.
Correct.
Roll, squeeze, and then out.
Yep, creating the pressure outward. Yeah, I don't think you were part of that class, but yeah, so pressure outward onto the outboard edges of the feet. Okay, any other questions? So this again is one of those mindful training things you have to do. So, you know, one of the things that I used to do back in the day is when I would go to the main dojo and I'd get one of these little nuggets of good information, right? I would let Sensei Marone know, hey, I'm working on this today. If I let something else go, try not to be too critical of it if you can, but if you can focus on me getting this right, if I can get this right, then let me know. Or, you know, if you think I've got that, then start bugging me about those other things too. You know, because there's only so many things you can think about and make improvements on in a given class. So like the other day we were working on just that pressure outward. Okay, that's a lot of work, and also the legs get a lot of oxygen development out of that too. So you know, you have to take your days and, okay, today I want to work on that, moving my hips through the movement. Okay. All right, so we are going to now work on some Wankan. So let's see, was everybody here for Wankan on Tuesday? I think we did Wankan Tuesday, right? Okay. All right, so let's do a quick refresh. Okay. Stepping out to the left, back stance, itch. I'm in your mirror. Okay, step across, pull it in, 45 degree to the right. Squeeze it in, knee up. Now I'm going to take 3 steps. When I get to the second one, my right arm is going to come underneath. Hitch, knee, sorry, left arm. Punch, punch. Then I'm going to bring my left arm up. Left arm up this way, around, and it's going to end up underneath my armpit. And I'm going to squeeze. So this hip rotation here is part of that movement too. 1, 2, sorry, 2, 3. Okay, so hand is like this. Palm is underneath this way. And this hip squeezes and pulls in. Okay, buttocks is not tucked underneath. Buttocks is slightly out so that I can keep my posture tall. If I start doing this, I start losing some of my balance points. So this wants to have a little bit of buttocks out, pushing down. Step out slightly with the left leg. Step out slightly. Then I want you to step forward with your right leg. Tate shuto, left tate shuto each time. Punch, punch. Is that right? Let me make sure. Yeah, so left tate shuto, right leg front. Punch, punch. Okay, one more time. Plus, all right. 45 degrees. Squeeze your thighs in. Okay, turn your body, prepare the direction, and step out. Back stance. Step across, leave your hands. Then as you start to move your left leg or your right leg, pull these arms in, press. Okay, pull it in. 1, 2, left arm, tate shuto, punch, punch. Left arm goes up and around, press. Okay, I like to take a little step forward with my left. 1, press 2, punch, punch. Okay, all right, any questions so far to there? All right, let's see you guys do it. All right, hitch. Knee. Thumb. Now the next 3 are 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's go back to the kakiwaki, 45 degrees, the second one. Okay. All right, so when you're doing the stepping forward, keep these hands in the front here until you're ready to go to the tate shuto. All right, so these hands stay up here. And then step, 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 and then underneath, yes, and then come in. Okay, so here we go, kakiwaki, 45, right leg forward. Itch. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, Andy. And punch, punch. All right, so the tate shuto is in fudodachi, so are the punches. Okay, and then come over the top, nekodachi, itch. Knee, tate shuto and fudodachi. Punch, punch. Andy, you got a fudodachi, you got the wrong leg forward. You gotta have your right leg forward. I'm sorry, your left leg forward. No, right leg forward. Yeah, so tate shuto with your left. There you go, and then 2 punches, 1, 2, yep. All right, let's do it again from the beginning. And here's one more little tidbit too. When you're making that strike downward, okay? So as I'm here, let's see, 1, 2. This one needs to come down from the shoulder, okay? Don't make this just go straight here. Make this come down from the shoulder, down from the shoulder. So I have choices. I can go neck or I can go bicep, okay, or into the arm as I'm pulling this other one in. As I'm pulling this in, I can go across, strike the bicep or into the neck as they're coming in. Okay, so make this come up to your shoulder. You know how we do from Busai Show, bring it up into here, same sort of thing. Okay, all right, here we go. Itch, knee. I like everybody's height of their kakiwaki. C, squeeze, and 1, 2, 3. Furodachi, right leg forward, punch, punch. And then move right to the next one, itch. All right, itch. So the hand that's underneath your armpit's going to tate shuto, punch, punch. All right, good. I like it. Any questions up to there? All right, good. Everybody, yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, at the end with the punch, punch, does the hip move or is it only in the arms?
I think the hip is a vibration only. And part of that is because Furodachi is kind of a open hip stance already. So it's kind of like in Sochin when you do that, doesn't really change positions because you're not changing to a front stance. If this were changing to a front stance, then you could argue the first one would be a hip rotation forward and the second one would be a vibration, but I think both of them are vibration in this instance because you're maintaining your Furodachi.
Okay, good.
Okay, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's go from the beginning. I'm going to go away from your mirror now. You guys are following me. Okay. Well, anyway, out to the left, itch, knee, thumb, squeeze it in. She, 1, 2, 3. Now the next 3 techniques are together. So bump, 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 itch. Now step out, tate shuto, Furodachi. Now the next 3 are also together. This one here, then the one after the 2 punches, okay, is going to be 1, 2, 2, and then we're going to come around. This hip has to rotate around to create this. I'm sorry about my posture. That's where I got to end up, or my hip was going to hurt me. So from here, okay, this hip pulls this way. This one goes this way. This left hip goes back, and I squeeze, pull this in. Again, this comes to the shoulder. Okay. And one more time from here. Tate shuto, right leg forward, left hand. 2 punch, 1, 2, 3. Okay, step forward. Tate shuto, Furodachi, punch, punch. Now squeeze this thigh in, and I want you to create a little bit of a vibration to make this back fist work. Same thing with the hip. So from here, boom, boom. Okay, so a little vibration to make this hammer fist, good. Okay. Then from that hammer fist, pivot on the ball of the foot, Maigiri, Oitsuki Jodan. Maigiri, Oitsuki Jodan. Maigiri, Oitsuki Jodan. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze this thigh in, use your hip rotation, and pull this arm in here like this. So this comes down, creates an arm bar of some sort on top here. So from here, I'm going to squeeze it in. One, this right leg is getting short. I'm going to step around their leg. Kiai 8. This is the same move from Basai Dai. So Yamazuke. So punching. So thrusting technique in a mountain style. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. See, we'll get a clarity going here. Here we go. Itch, knee, thumb squeeze. Shi, 1, 2, 3, furodachi. Go, 1, 2, 3. Itch, step forward, furodachi, slow. 2 punch, itch, knee, thumb. Make sure that hip rotates. Itch, press. Shi, pump, pump. Ooh. Now pivot on the ball of the foot. Itch, knee, thumb. Shi, kiai. Bring the right leg back. Bring the left leg over. That should put you in your beginner spot. Okay. Now, one thing that I like to do when I'm making this kata for like a tournament or just for demonstration purposes is I like to really draw out the tate shuto and also the kakiwakis. So first, kakiwaki. Oh. And then this one, step, and then 1, 2, 3. See, yeah, I'm still moving, pushing forward. And then when I get to the end of it, boom, boom. Then here, pushing forward. And then boom, boom. Okay, so that way, a couple things happen. One is you lock your whole body in at the very end of that tate shuto. Also, your slow part is exaggeratedly slow, which will make your fast part look a little faster. So if you're not the fastest person in the world here, that can kind of mask some of that because you're really exaggerating the slow. If you're really fast, it'll really exaggerate that as well and make it look like it's just blinding speed. Okay. All right. So let's try from the beginning. Anybody questions, by the way? Mary?
Okay. So how about at the end, the timing you do the 3 punches and then slight pause, then gather and go out real quick? Is it?
Yeah. So the Maigiri Oitsuki is kind of done in a Samanzuki tempo. So the first one is 1, then the next 2 is 1, 2, and then ba-bum. So
Okay.
so finish kind of like you would finish for a hand shodan, where the last punch has a slight pause before you went to the next shuto block. Okay, but that collection and sending out this double punch should be done very quickly. So it's a contraction and then another contraction to go out with the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All right.
good.
All right, let's go. All right, Wankan. Itch. Knee. Really draw those kakiwakis out. Oh, pressure. Itch. Quick. Knee. 1, 2, 3. Pressure forward. Bum, bum, bum. Itch. Pressure forward. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Bum, bum, bum. Pressure forward. Go slow, 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 slow. Bum, bum, bum. Hammer fist. Good. Itch. Knee. Thumb. Shigo. All right, so Tony, get yourself into Fudodachi here. Real wide, real wide. There you go. Good. Yummy. All right, so the Maigeri Oitsukis are Zenkutsudachi. Everything else is Fudodachi. Okay. All right, any questions? Marty?
Sensei, as we are taking those 3 steps forward,
Yep.
are we staying, is our shoulder levels kind of staying the same? And then the last we start sinking, or are we sinking as we're stepping forward?
I think the first 2 are probably fairly same height, and then the last one has to necessarily come down because you're putting yourself into a lower stance. There you go. Yeah. So you're kind of sinking and pressing forward with that last one. Yeah. And I like your representation of it where you kind of come down and in. So kind of like a J rather than a straight triangle this way. Okay. So sink down and then press forward. I like that. So that comes from sinking the knee, right? All right. Let's go. Let's do it again a couple times and we'll call it a night. Oh, not bad for a bad hip guy. All right, here we go. Os. Wankan. Yo. Itch. Knee. Some. Shigoruk. Sit. Itch. Hutch. Ku. Ju. Itch. Nisam. Shigo. Hey. All right, check your stance. Fudodachi. Yummy. Emba. All right, so did you pay attention to the tempo and the rhythm that I was working to? Okay. Really take those Fudodachis and draw them out. So if you're here, this pressing forward, not just sitting down. Don't just sit down on this Fudodachi. Press forward with the Fudodachi. Okay, all right, let's go again. Let's Wankan. Itch. Press those legs apart. Knee. Engage the rhomboids in the back. Sun, quick. Shigoruk. Press, pushing forward. Punch, punch. Itch. Pushing forward. Itch. Itch. Pushing forward. Itch. Itch. Knee. Thump. Shigo. Hey. Yummy. Amba. All right. Let's see you guys do it. We'll call it a night. All right. So think of this as finals of the Michigan Shotokan Karate Tournament, where we've invited Canadians, people all over the country, and you are in the finals. Let's see if you get winner. Here we go. Yo, or about Wankan. Hajime. All right, Yame. All right, so Eric, I'd like you to draw out a little bit more of those tate shutos. Okay. Mary Lane, good tempo there. Mark, a little quick. I think you probably have a little bit more drawing out with those tate shutos and also with your stance length and so on. Could be just tired from the break. I get it. Marty, when you make that last move, show me the last lunge punch going to the collect and Yamazuki. Not too far away. Yeah, just going to the back. Yeah. So just lunge punch, just right there. Just stop right there. Now collect and do Yamazuki to the next coming forward. Yes. So go back. So when you do that collection, the first thing that happens is your head goes toward your entertainment center. I want you, yes, there you go. Keep that head tall. Okay. So don't use this head and then come back this way with it. Okay. Keep the head tall. So when you squeeze your hips, keep your posture tall by squeezing your buttocks underneath. Go. Yeah. So it's still bent a little bit, but way less than it did earlier. Yeah, so it's okay to turn your head too to the backside as you do this collection, okay? There you go. I like that better. So I think maybe that head turn might help you keep that tall too, okay? Dirk, you went pretty good. Andy, tempo was good as well. So your camera keeps making you blurry from time to time. So it doesn't know you're there for a little bit. All right, any other questions?
Sensei, that hammer fist is under, correct?
I tend to do it under. I don't know that there's an official way that you have to do it. I like doing it under only because if you got their arm here and you're pulling backwards, if you're going on top, I guess you could hit Jodan. If you go underneath, you can hit body into the rib cages here too. So that could be another option. So I don't know that there's a got to do it one way or the other, but I always do it underneath.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then that vibration, whipping action of shoulder, bring it back.
Oh, so Sensei,
yeah.
that does not stick out.
No, it does stick out, but it wants to so send the shoulder and then send it back to here.
Yes.
Yeah, it does stay out.
Right. Yes.
Okay, anybody else questions? Nope. All righty then. Good class tonight. We'll see some of you on Thursday. And then seniors, take a look at your email this week. I'm going to send a kind of a tale of woe for my hip, and we'll see what you guys are able to help out with, and we'll tailor it to whatever we can get done so that we can keep things going for us. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right, good night.
Thank you.
Great class.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.